Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Rebel Racing Network and the National Outlaw Racing Association ARCA Series. I am your commentator tonight, Austin Householder, and we are coming to you live from Chicagoland Speedway, where these drivers will be competing for 120 laps in the second round of the playoffs. There was 12 last week. We are down to 8 now, and that competition is heating up, and we have seen tempers flare in the last couple weeks across the ARCA and Cup Series. Reminder, the last regular season race, tempers flared when Cody Sanderson got into the back of Seth LaCroix and wrecked him out of the lead on the last lap. And we saw more tempers flare last night in the Cup Series, where Seth LaCroix, racing for the win, being pushed by his teammate Joshua Edmonds. Edmonds moved down the track and endured another driver, causing a huge pileup. Once again, we are competing for 120 laps. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the weather here tonight. Temperature is 66 degrees. Winds are calm, just 2 miles per hour out of the northeast. The sky is partly cloudy and the humidity at 95%. So good conditions. Should not be too slick for these guys. We should see some good racing, able to keep those cars under control. They are now making their way on track for qualifying. And an update on the rules tonight. These drivers are going to be given 3 extra sets of tires, 60% fuel, and 1 quick repair to get this one done. And with that fuel load, it looks like they are going to need about 3 pit stops to get this one done. The pit window being 30 laps here. Currently looking at Jackson Sibley on track, a member of that Warhorse Racing team, trying to lay down a good lap. A quick update on our top 8. Still competing for the championship. Jordan Stencil is atop the leaderboard right now in points with 2,190 points. Sean Merriman, the defending champion, in second with 2,172 points. Seth LaCroix is sitting in third with 2,168 points. Jackson Sibley in fourth with 2,161 points. Omar Rodriguez Jr. in fifth with 2,160 points. Michael Boyd in 6th with 2,154 points. Connor Price in 7th with 2,151 points. And Preston Shepard, your last driver in the playoffs for the time being, with 2,144 points. Seth LaCroix, just completing his qualifying run, has put himself into the pole position. Still a few drivers left to qualify, including Mike Hill, Robert Lawson, Michael Boyd, Ryan Mack, and our defending champion, Sean Merriman. And we have Samson LaCroix entering the chat on YouTube, rooting for his brother Seth. Dawson Price, no longer racing, but still here to cheer on his teammates in Seth LaCroix. Cheering on his teammates Seth LaCroix, Connor Price, and Omar Rodriguez Jr. Looking at Jonathan Wiley on track, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is sporting a new number. He's rocking the number 1 car. But with that qualifying run, that's not going to put him in first place. He has just set a time for 5th. Pull up our timing tower so you guys can see where these drivers stack up as this qualifying session is coming to an end. We are going to head down trackside for our opening ceremonies presented by Ura Flyovers. At this time, please stand as you are able. Remove your hats, place your hand over your heart, and veterans render a hand salute as the United States Marine Corps Band performs our national anthem.
What so bright hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, and we are back, folks, and this qualifying session has just come to an end. They are beginning to grid up on track now, and we're going to take a look at our official starting grid here tonight. Starting on the pole will be the 29 of Seth LaCroix. Jordan Stencil will roll off second in the 83. Michael Boyd in third, driving the number 21. Sean Merriman running fourth in the 18 car. Tanner Witt will start fifth in the 88. Jonathan Wiley at his outside in sixth, driving the number 1 tonight. Once again, Jonathan Wiley driving the number 1 tonight. Jackson Sibley in seventh, driving the number 7. Omar Rodriguez Jr. will roll off 8th in the 92 car. Travis Neiman will start 9th in the 20. Hunter Geyer will be rolling off 10th in the 17. Tristan Haynes will start 11th, driving the number 99. Chris Chamopoulos will start 12th, driving the number 420. Rolling off 13th will be Craig Peterson, driving the number 53. Alan Martin will be starting 14th, driving the number 15. Preston Shepard will roll off 15th in the 52 car. Mike Hill starting 16th, driving the number 27. Ethan Straub will be rolling off 17th, driving the number 13 car. Connor Price will start 18th, driving the number 48. Cody Sanderson in 19th, driving the number 49. Alex Finney will start 20th, driving the number 80. In 21st will be Stephen Linger, driving the number 91. Robert Lawson will roll off 22nd, driving the number 45. Ryan Mack will start 23rd, driving the number 12. 24th will be Chris Jones in the 6 car. And rounding out your field in 25th will be the 64 of Thomas Adams. As they have now taking off for their parade lap. And Lee LaCroix entering the chat. How are you doing tonight, Lee? I think our one to watch tonight is going to be this 18 car right here. Sean Merriman in the 18 Dr. Pepper. Once again, he is sitting second in points, and he is our defending champion. And it looks like we will be needing 3 pit stops tonight. He normally has an unorthodox pit strategy that 9 times out of 10 will work to his advantage. That is how he won the championship last year, was his complex trip pit strategy, and I think we're going to see some of that tonight to propel him to the Final Four next week. But he is starting just to the outside of our points leader, right behind our points leader, Jordan Stencil. This should be a good battle. The pace truck is off, and the green flag is out. We are racing lap 1 of 120. Seth LaCroix going to lead them down the front stretch into turn 1. still doubled up. Jordan Stencil really battling back on that outside line. Chicagoland is one of those tracks where there are multiple racing lines you can use. The inside line does tend to be just a little bit quicker, not that time around. But as those tires wear, the speed will be found on the outside line throughout the race. So you see these guys double wide right now. It looks like a lot of them trying to get high here early on. So Jordan Stencil has taken over the lead. Sean Merriman able to get by Seth LaCroix as well. Seth LaCroix has now dropped back to third place and is being challenged there by Michael Boyd. Keep an eye on here on Sean Merriman. He is looking to put that pressure on Stencil. He has not let up at all early on in this one. So our top three have worked it out single file. Now the battle is for fourth, and that is between two teammates, Omar Rodriguez Jr. and Seth LaCroix. But the battle for the lead has just heated up. Sean Merriman's gotten to the inside of Jordan Stencil. Merriman not quite clear yet. You see Merriman, he is a little bit faster on that low line than Jordan Stencil on the outside. But that outside line here at Chicagoland does tend to wear those tires a lot less. We're going to see if Jordan Stencil can hang with Sean Merriman until those tires start to fall off on that 18 car, pushing it hard on that inside line. Thank you, Joe Mama. Yes, this is ARCA. The Cup Series title on the scoreboard did not update. Thank you for the heads up. We got that updated for you. So we talked about Jordan Stencil trying to hold off till those tires fell off on the 18 car, and it does look like he has held on and has held off that 18 of Sean Merriman, and Michael Boyd now going by Merriman on the outside as well. And they will transition down to the bottom, looking to find some speed, maybe trying to open up a gap here early on. We did see some really clean racing at Echo Park last week here in the ARCA Series. And it looks like that is going to carry over here tonight. So being able to get a little bit of cushion, if green flag pit stops do come up here, would work out great for Jordan Stencil and Michael Boyd. They're going to get side by side. Michael Boyd wants that lead. Here comes Tanner Witt in that 88 car. He came out of nowhere and in 3 positions like a rocket to pull up to Jordan Stencil there. So some shakeups up here up front. Jordan Stencil beginning to pull away. Checking back in with our pole sitter. He is looking to get back into this fight. He is hung back there and has cooled those tires off and now working that outside line, trying to get by Michael Boyd. Looking further back in the pack, Preston Shepard in that 52 car did not have the qualifying run he was looking for, but he is having the race run he wanted here tonight, already gaining 8 positions up to 7th now for that 52 machine. Checking back in with someone off their pace tonight. That one, Jonathan Wiley. He's normally a front runner, but he has dropped all the way back to 15th, losing 9 positions since the green flag has dropped. Maybe a little fuel and tire saving strategy for that one car here tonight. Once again, with the tire strategy, we do not see a lot of drivers take tires during their first pit stop, so you have got to make them last for essentially two pit windows. Taking care of those tires is going to be very important here tonight. Chicagoland is known to chew up these tires. And Joshua Edmonds entering the chat over on YouTube, rooting for his teammate Seth LaCroix. Here, Tanner Witt still hanging tough there in 3rd place, but Seth LaCroix with a move down to the bottom to get alongside Jordan Stencil in the 83. Not quite enough for that 29 car. Jordan Stencil still has the lead, but you see, as these tires have worn, that fast line can still be, or that bottom line can still be fast. Jordan Stencil going to cross over Seth LaCroix now. Now Stencil to the inside, LaCroix to the high side as this battle continues. Seth LaCroix will retain that lead, but here comes someone we haven't heard from up front here tonight. That 52 of Preston Shepard. He is charging hard to the front here. Preston Shepard now all over Jordan Stencil's back bumper. He looked to the inside, not quite there yet for him. Now Stencil goes inside. Shepard to the high side. Shepard's got to run. Stencil able to shut the door there. He hesitated. He knew Preston Shepard was going to get a run off of the corner there on the high side. Stencil very careful, and he's able to hold him off. Stencil, very great job by him coming off of turn 2 to hold off Preston Shepard and hang with him. And here comes another driver, another Apex driver back to the front. Omar Rodriguez Jr., we saw him drop to the back. He is making his way back up front. Racing the 99 of Tristan Haynes hard there. I tell you what, I don't think you could have stuck a piece of paper in between those two cars as close as they were, but they do keep it clean. Going back up to the front, Preston Shepard now back to the inside of Jordan Stencil. Stencil contact with the outside wall there, and that might be the slip up Preston Shepard needs to take over that second spot, and he does. Watch out for that crossover move. Jordan Stencil getting a nose back to the inside of Preston Shepard. Not quite enough there for that 83 car to hold on to that position, though. Move back further in the pack. Hunter Geyer trying to make moves to get up to the front. We've seen him find some speed here late in the season. He's linked up with his teammate Jackson Sibley driving that number 7 car. Keep an eye on the 7 and 17 to be able to work together here, try and make some runs to the front. This may not be considered a drafting track like we saw last week at Echo Park, but that draft still plays a huge factor into racing here. That is a large reason why a lot of these cars have still been able to stay bunched up throughout this one. We're going to step aside for a quick commercial break.
From the track to the tech, Creative Castle keeps your code running as clean as your laps. We test real-world devices and digital platforms so your next release won't crash in turn 1. At Creative Castle, we elevate your software with expert quality assurance and cross-platform testing. Whether it's native apps or networked hardware, we deliver precision-tested performance at scale. Behind every smooth app and smart device is a quiet castle. Creative Castle. We're the quality wizards and test knights who battle bugs and break bad code before it breaks your product. Creative Castle. Quality at full throttle. Your quest for quality ends here.
All right, and we are back. Not too much of a shakeup. Jackson Sibley still sitting there in 5th. Hunter Geyer, though, moving up to 6th here. Seth LaCroix still our race leader. But Preston Shepard looking to close that gap here. Now here comes Omar Rodriguez Jr. on that high side. He's worked his way by Jordan Stencil. We're going to see he gets right up to that bumper of Preston Shepard. Shepard going to close the door on him. And we've got our first green flag pit stop. Sean Merriman in that 18 car. We talked about his pit strategy, how he likes to pit short. And that's what he's doing. He comes down pit road all alone here. Preston Shepard now challenging for the lead. He's gotten to the inside of Seth LaCroix. Omar Rodriguez Jr. getting to the outside of the 29 of Seth LaCroix. And just like that, LaCroix moves back to it. Looks like he's going to be scored in fourth as Jordan Stencil gets in here as well. Now Hunter Geyer and Preston Shepard going to come down pit road. Green flag pit stops continuing here. Omar Rodriguez Jr., Seth LaCroix, Jordan Stencil all stay out. So Michael Boyd, Jackson Sibley, Travis Neiman, Hunter Geyer, Tristan Haynes, Chris Tremopoulos, Preston Shepard, Mike Hill, Ethan Straub, Connor Price, and Alex Finney all on pit road here. And now the Apex boys will come down pit road. And Jonathan Wiley, Alan Martin, and Craig Peterson will stay out. Now Jonathan Wiley, Alan Martin slowing it down. It looks like Craig Peterson as well. So now Ryan Mack scored as our leader, sitting on pit road there. Seth LaCroix is back out with his teammate Omar Rodriguez Jr. in that 92 car. They exit pit road, going to get it back up to speed. It looks like when it is all said and done with these green flag pit stops, Seth LaCroix will be our official leader. Jonathan Wiley exiting pit road. Not quite fast enough on pit road for Wiley to maintain that first position he had by staying out. And it's going to take him even longer to get back up to speed. And he is going to drop here. So you can stretch this pit run out to about 34, 35 laps for these guys. So it looks like it will end up being a 4-stop race. Unless we were to get some cautions. But I tell you what, the way these guys are spread out, I don't know if that's going to happen. But once again, we talked about the tire strategy. That first pit stop normally does not involve tires for these ARCA guys. So those tires are getting worn. They are hot. They are slick. They will also start to push those cars out to the outside. So anything can happen here. We're looking at Jackson Sibley, Hunter Geyer, and Preston Shepard back there all competing for 4th place. LaCroix, Rodriguez Jr., and Merriman, our first group of cars. And LaCroix has opened up that gap here. About 0.2 of a second for the 29 car. Now 38 laps in the books, and a live rundown of our top 10 after green flag pit stops. LaCroix, our leader, Omar Rodriguez Jr. in second, Merriman in third, Hunter Geyer running fourth, Jackson Sibley in fifth, Jordan Stencil running sixth, Preston Shepard running seventh, Tanner Witt in eighth, Michael Boyd in 9th, and Jonathan Wiley bringing up your top 10. And Hunter Geyer has turned the jets on that 17 car. He has closed that gap with that lead pack. And we saw probably about a half-second gap or more between them. But Hunter Geyer able to close it up using that draft. And he's looking to challenge these Apex Racing guys for that lead. He's gotten alongside Omar Rodriguez Jr. running that low line. It looks like he is there. Seth LaCroix way up the track. And that's going to open up that door for Hunter Geyer. To take over the lead in that 17 Bird Wraps car. Correction, that 17 Rebel Racing Network / Bird Wraps car. We're excited to see that. But Seth LaCroix running into some trouble now. Jackson Sibley's gotten there as well. They've got a posse behind them. Sibley looking to take over. Jordan Stencil trying to go back to the front as well. Sean Merriman getting to the inside of Omar Rodriguez Jr. As battle is heated back up, you see Seth LaCroix. He had a chance to get low there and get behind Jordan Stencil, but he's going to stay up there and make sure he helps out his teammate Omar Rodriguez Jr. Make sure his teammate can use that draft to battle back with that challenge from Sean Merriman. Omar Rodriguez Jr. going to move down to the inside now. Trying to get away from Sean Merriman. Hunter Geyer, Jackson Sibley, Jordan Stencil now pulling away a little bit. Looking at the last lap times between the top 3 now, and then Omar Rodriguez Jr., Seth LaCroix, and Sean Merriman. It does appear that those top 3 may have used their first set of tires here, trying to get a leg up. So we're going to see how this plays out for them. They do have a chance to really open up this gap with those new tires. But that strategy could possibly come back to bite them in the end of this one. But they have definitely left that second group of drivers in the dust, now opening up that gap to 2 seconds. So Jackson Sibley going to go to the lead now. Hunter Geyer on the top of up top as they get ready to start approaching some lap traffic. Check it back in with that second group of guys. Omar Rodriguez Jr. leading the second group. Tanner Witt, though, challenging. Some more drivers have caught them. All right, Huncho Weeze entering the chat saying what a fun season it has been watching these guys racing and improve and keeping it exciting. And stay tuned. We've still got 1.5 more races to decide this championship, Huncho. But it has been a good season, and they have definitely kept it exciting. Not a disappointing race on the schedule here. That is Chris Jones that they just lapped there. Having a little issue with his paint scheme, it appears. Trying to figure out who that lap car was. So Jackson, Sibley, and company still out in front of this one. Now on lap 49. So that second pit window starting to close in. Be interesting to see what these guys do. Looking back at that second group now, Travis Neiman now in charge of that second group. He is charging in the front here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that 20 is going to be on new tires as well. Travis Neiman teammates with Jackson Sibley and Hunter Geyer. So one thing we know, these teammates do tend to stick with the same pit strategy. A lot of times trying to work together, sharing information. Travis Neiman putting these new tires to work and really just trying to open up that gap. Now about half a second between him and that 15 of Alan Martin. Going back to the guys that were first off of, came out of pit road with the lead, Seth LaCroix, Omar Rodriguez Jr., and Sean Merriman. They have dropped back now. 3.5 seconds behind that lead group. Omar Rodriguez Jr. doing a good job trying to stick with these guys. He's using that draft off of Tanner Witt's 18 car to maintain some of that speed. He has left Sean Merriman and Seth LaCroix in the dust. Checking back in with Jonathan Wiley. We saw him drop into the back here, but we mentioned that it might be some tire saving or some fuel saving. We saw him get an extra lap out of that fuel run there over everyone else. His tire's probably in a little bit better shape than these guys in front of him, LaCroix, Merriman, and Merriman. This will be interesting to see what happens if he does catch Seth LaCroix. Once again, Seth LaCroix, Cody Sanderson caught up in that issue in the regular season finale. Tempers really flared with that one. They've been pretty quiet on track. Maybe not in the group chat over on Discord, but they've been quiet on track. But Wiley is a teammate of Cody Sanderson, so we're going to see how he decides to play this one. He's going to go low on LaCroix. It looks like it will be a clean pass for Jonathan Wiley. Moving back to the front, Jackson Sibley still in charge of this one. Hunter Geyer in second, Jordan Stencil in third. And go back, check in with Travis Neiman and Alan Martin. Alan Martin has closed that gap with Neiman. But Neiman still has some work to do if he wants to catch these leaders. Almost 3 seconds of a gap between them. We're going to go ahead and step aside for another quick commercial break before green flag pit stops.
Do you love Orlando's theme parks, but the long lines have you losing the magic? Introducing Ride Waits, the Apple Watch app designed to help you skip the stress and ride more, with real-time wait times and park info right on your wrist. Whether you're exploring Walt Disney World, adventuring through Universal Orlando, or taking it all in at SeaWorld, Ride Waits helps you navigate smarter and get the most out of your visit. No more wandering, no more guessing, just more riding. And it's not just wait times. Ride Waits also offers tips on the best times to ride, general park info, and helpful alerts so you never miss out on your favorite attraction. Whether you're planning ahead or making game day decisions in the park, Ride Waits keeps everything you need at a quick glance away. Ride Waits, your wrist-side guide to the best parks in Orlando. Available now on the Apple Watch store.
Not affiliated with or endorsed by any theme park brand.
All right, and we are back, and we're currently checking in with that 45 of Robert Lawson. Not someone we get to talk about a whole lot here on the Rebel Racing Network, but he is on the move. He has climbed 8 positions since this one has started, up to 14th now. So something definitely working for that 45 car tonight. He has found some speed. Move back to the front of the pack. Hunter Geyer still trying to close the gap with his teammate there. We'll ride along with him on his hood cam. And it seems like a good time for a Creative Castle. Crank it up. And correction, we're going to see Hunter Geyer and Jackson Sibley coming down pit road here. So we'll cut this short to bring you those green flag pit stops. Travis Neiman coming with them as well. Michael Boyd included in that. Looks like that was the 13 of Ethan Straub, if I'm not mistaken there. So pit stops happening here on lap 62 of 120. Not stretching it out quite as long as they did on that first run. I tell you what, after 62 green flag laps, no cautions, I would be hungry to get down pit road and get some fresh tires on this hot rod. With that, Jordan Stencil is going to retain the lead. He is not pitted yet. Alan Martin, though, moving to second here. Tanner Witt moves to third. Wiley up to fourth. Here's Seth LaCroix, Omar Rodriguez Jr., and Sean Merriman also coming down pit road. Now Thomas Adams coming down pit road. And we're going to keep an eye on this one car. He is right on the back bumper of Hunter Geyer. Jonathan Wiley, he likes to stretch these green flag runs out. These fuel runs. Make that fuel last as long as possible. Now Jordan Stencil bringing that car down pit road. So Alan Martin, your new leader, he is still yet to pit. Alan Martin now coming down pit road. And it looks like Jonathan Wiley going to go by. He is back to the lead. Craig Peterson will take over second as he comes around Alan Martin. Jackson Sibley going to go to third. Staying updated. Now 66 laps into this one. Now Jonathan Wiley going to pull it down pit road. What's Craig Peterson going to do? Craig Peterson going to stay out of lap, and he is looking for some bonus points. Now we see Craig Peterson slow, so it looks like Jackson Sibley going to go back to the lead as Jonathan Wiley still on pit road. Looks like he's going to take 4 tires here. So Hunter Geyer will take over second. And now we're seeing these cars getting really spread out. Jordan Stencil spread out from Hunter Geyer spread out from Jackson Sibley. Omar Rodriguez Jr. and Shaw Merriman, though, staying linked up together. We're going to see if maybe they can work together, get a little bit of draft off each other, and catch some of these guys here. And we do have an update. It appears Alex Finney ran into some trouble getting on pit road. That was an in-car view, and it looks like he overshot it. Move outside the car and just keep an eye, see what happened here. Yep, just overshot that pit entrance. I do believe that would be a black flag for that 80 car here tonight as well. Going to put him a lap down after he serves his penalty, if not 2. So now Seth LaCroix joining that crew of Omar Rodriguez Jr. and Sean Merriman. Jackson Sibley still leading this race out there all by himself, but it appears we missed it. Jordan Stencil getting around Hunter Geyer here. That happened back on lap 70. See Jordan Stencil just moving down to the bottom, get inside of Geyer. And if I had to guess, I am guessing Hunter Geyer did not take tires that last pit stop. You see that car pushing up to that outside wall. Saving those tires for the end of this one. It has been green flag racing here tonight. Well, once again, anything could happen. Back to this posse we have back here. Seth LaCroix, Omar Rodriguez Jr., Alan Martin, and Sean Merriman all bunched up together. Battling out with each other for positions. got some battles back here in the pack as well. Michael Boyd has gotten alongside of Jonathan Wiley, battling it out for 10th place. Michael Boyd, we saw him up front earlier, but he has not had the success on pit road that he was looking for here tonight. He has dropped all the way back to he's going to drop back behind Wiley to 11th now, losing 8 positions since this one has started. Alan Martin getting a nose out in front of Sean Merriman here. Alan Martin has been on the move. He started 14th, now up to 4th. This group of cars all has fresh tires on them, but Alan Martin putting those things to work, and it is paying off for that 15 car here tonight. We're going to go ahead, take a look at our stint length for these pit stops. Jordan Stencil, both of his stints 32 laps. Jackson Sibley 31 and 30. You saw Alan Martin stretching his out to 33 laps, so not a lot of variation between these guys in their pit strategy. LaCroix and Rodriguez Jr., though, that second stint, though, only 28 laps. So pitting early, trying to get those fresh tires on early and make up some ground here. With such a small pit window for these drivers, though, on how I'm trying to be able to make it, though, that short pitting not really going to work out for them, knowing they have to make pit stops roughly every 30 laps. Get to the end of this one, so they only had about 2 to 3 more laps than the rest of the field on fresh tires. And we're going to go ahead and step aside for a quick commercial break.
At FedUps, we don't care how it gets there, just that it eventually does. We use cutting-edge technology like guesswork, blind rage, and the occasional coin flip. Need help? Our customer service is standing by to put you on hold. Our drivers are trained professionals in rage quitting, road rage, and minor parkour. Have an issue? Hey, we delivered it, didn't we? At FedUp, we're not happy until you're not happy. Special instructions? I ignored it specifically. Signature required? We'll scribble something. Fragile? Let's test that theory. Customer service? Try screaming into the void. FedUp, we hate your package almost as much as you do.
FedUps is not responsible for damaged, late, lost, or completely incinerated packages. Batteries not included. Actually, nothing's included.
All right, and we are back, folks, and an update on that 17 car of Hunter Geyer. Once again, he is on old tires here. We saw him charge to the front on the new tires, but that pit strategy looks like it's going to come back to bite him in the rear end, as he is now dropped back to 4th and is being pressured by Sean Merriman, Rodriguez Jr., and Seth LaCroix. So Hunter Geyer stands to lose a lot of laps here. We still have about 12 laps before our next pit window. So that pit window for these drivers is going to open up about lap 88. And they could make it to the end, but that would be pushing it. If they were to get a green light checker finish, they would be in trouble. We've seen a lot of green flag racing. But if I'm Hunter Geyer and seeing the way I'm dropping here, I've got to be thinking about going down to pit here on lap 88 when I know I can make it to the end. As long as this thing stays green, that would give him roughly about 8 laps on new tires while the rest of these guys are on old tires. update. Jordan Stencil has taken the lead over from Jackson Sibley. Sibley in the same boat as Hunter Geyer. Jackson Sibley, I do believe he is still in good shape here. He's opened up that gap enough over those back runners to hopefully squeak out a top 3 out of this. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough to catch Jordan Stencil, but Sibley has got to be thinking about going here in lap 88 as well. We've got a blink out from Jackson Sibley, so some issues arising out of him. Checking in with Alan Martin, who has continued to lay down good lap times. He's made his way up to 3rd, getting by Omar Rodriguez Jr., and he is leaving those guys in the dust. I was talking about pitting on lap 88. Here comes Sean Merriman on lap 89 in that 18 machine, and he is going to come down pit road all alone. So we talked about that pit strategy and, you know, the unorthodox pit strategies out of some of these drivers, specifically that 18. We're going to see if this pays off. Before he came down to pit road, he's going to have about 4 seconds to make up. I'm not sure if 7 laps is going to be quite enough for him to do it. Seth LaCroix also coming down pit road now as well. I think he has taken a page out of Sean Merriman's book there. Jordan Stencil still out. Jackson Sibley still out. Now Jackson Sibley going to come down here as we get down to 30 to go. Jordan Stencil, Alan Martin still staying out. Omar Rodriguez Jr. coming down pit road as well. Robert Lawson on pit road. So now we're starting to see some varying pit strategy among teammates, though. Jackson Sibley came down pit road. Hunter Geyer has stayed out trying to make up that ground. Now Geyer going to come down pit road. Jonathan Wiley staying out in his normal fashion. Jordan Stencil staying out as well. So Seth LaCroix back out on track. He and Sean Merriman. Looks like that pit strategy has paid off. They've made up some time. They got out in front of Jackson Sibley, but Jackson Sibley not far off their tail. He'll have about a lap fresher tires, or 2 lap fresher tires than these guys. See if he can make it last. Michael Boyd coming down pit road now as well. So our top 3 still yet to pit. Jordan Stencil, Alan Martin, Jonathan Wiley. Correction, our top 5 Craig Peterson in that group as well. Still have yet to pit. So Seth LaCroix looks like he is going to rotate to the front of it once all of these pit stops are done, and we only have 25 left to go in this one. See Jordan Stencil getting ready to navigate his way around Chris Jones. Jordan Stencil elects to pit this time by. Alan Martin staying out. And Jonathan Wiley looks like he will stay out as well. I'm going to go check back in with Seth LaCroix and Sean Merriman. Correction, looks like it is all Seth LaCroix up here. He has got that gap opened up over Sean Merriman. Sean Merriman getting a mirror full of Jackson Sibley. There, it looks like they're going to battle it out. They're catching back up to Jonathan Wiley. Wiley up there on the high side. So Wiley will go back to the lead. LaCroix, Merriman, and Sibley get their lap back. And Wiley, seeing that, knowing he still has to pit, has got to be kicking himself in the rear end right now. This pit strategy has not paid off for that one car. Now Wiley going to come down pit road. He gets out of shape trying to get on pit road. So Craig Peterson will take over the lead here. Jonathan Wiley still sitting on pit road as Craig Peterson's going to go by him. Quick update here. So Jordan Stencil looks like he may come out the winner here with his pit strategy. He has already pitted. He is in first place now. Jordan Stencil to the lead. Seth LaCroix running second, almost 4 seconds behind Stencil. So LaCroix not able to make up enough ground by short pitting there. Alan Martin in third. He has worked his way by Sean Merriman. Sean Merriman in fourth. Jackson Sibley in fifth. Now down to 19. Jordan Stencil looks like he may have this locked up, and he's got the fresher tires and Seth LaCroix back there in second. So even if we do get a late caution, Jordan Stencil has the advantage, and with the lead, he controls the restart as well. If I'm Jordan Stencil, I've got to be feeling pretty good about myself. Looking at Shaw Merriman, still trying to hold off Jackson Sibley. They've worked their way back around Alan Martin, that 15. Alan Martin falling off here. It looks like he did not save enough tires to make it to the end on this one. Now, Mozzie, we appreciate your appreciation. We really enjoy covering these races all season long. We look forward to bringing you even more racing here on the Rebel Racing Network. Once again, after this season ends, Third Coast Racing Xfinity begins on Wednesday nights at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. But we still have 3 more NORA races before the season's end. And they are not disappointing with all the excitement they have brought us. Jordan Stencil continuing to lead here. It does appear he is losing ground to Seth LaCroix. Seth LaCroix still able to be a little bit faster than Jordan Stencil. Only 13 laps to go, though. I don't think Seth LaCroix has enough time. That gap sitting at about 1.5 seconds. Analyzing the last 5 lap times, LaCroix is faster each time by. So Jordan Stencil navigating that lap traffic. Now we're starting to see the lap times even out as we are down to 11 to go. Seth LaCroix has got to find some speed. Only about 1.3 seconds now to get to Jordan Stencil. I tell you what, though, Steven Linger staying locked right in behind Seth. When cars work together, they do tend to have a little bit more speed. Steven Linger, a lap down in this one. Now down to 10 to go. If LaCroix can maybe get the draft off that 45, he may not be out of this one. He may be able to draft up to those leaders and race for a win here. But he still has some time to make up, though. Come down to 9 laps to go. You'll notice Jordan Stencil here, after he got by the 45, he has slowed down. He does not have that 45's draft pulling him around. And they're alongside each other now. The 45 finding some speed. Update, that 45 is Robert Lawson. He is racing just to stay on the lead lap here, down to 8 laps to go. But that's not what Jordan Stencil wants to see. He's stuck on that high side, and you see Seth LaCroix there working the low side, doing something different. Jackson Sibley, though, catching that 29 car. And LaCroix has got to be thinking, Sibley, do not get beside me. This gap is closing. Now down to 0.7 of a second with 7 to go. Jordan Stencil still running right alongside of that 45 of Robert Lawson. And just taking a look at our last lap times, LaCroix 0.2 of a second faster, lap 114, lap 113, almost 0.3 of a second faster, lap 112, just shy of 0.2 of a second faster. LaCroix is closing, but Sibley has gotten by him, and we missed it. So Sibley's getting there. And it looks like LaCroix is going to give up that spot for the time being. Down to 6 to go. Jordan Stencil getting back in front of that 45 of Robert Lawson. But they have bunched back up, and I do believe they can now catch the draft off of Jordan Stencil. Down to 5 to go. Nubbin's saying these two fighting will let Stencil go. I think LaCroix is aware of that. He's kind of backed off a little bit. That bunch up behind him, not what LaCroix wanted to see. But Sibley is going to get to that back bumper. Only 0.2 of a second between them. Sibley's got the draft and the aero working, but that aero, these aero packages, make it tough on these cars to pass. We're going to see what Jackson Sibley can do here. All right, Sibley is there. He's underneath Jordan Stencil. Sibley not quite clear him yet. 2 laps to go. That is the 53 of Craig Peterson. They're trying to join the fight just to get a lap back. And here comes LaCroix yet again. Closing that gap. Jackson Sibley, though, going to clear Stencil. LaCroix now being challenged by Merriman. White flag is out. Jackson Sibley, our leader at the white flag. Jordan Stencil getting passed by Craig Peterson. Peterson gets his lap back. The battle is for third, though. LaCroix and Merriman. Stencil not going to have enough time to get back to Jackson Sibley unless Jackson Sibley makes a mistake going into the last corner. LaCroix with the nose out in front of Merriman for the time being. Sibley going to take the checkered flag here and get his first NORA ARCA Series win. Jordan Stencil coming home second, and Seth LaCroix is going to be scored third. We're going to go back and watch this battle come into the checkered flag for Seth LaCroix and Sean Merriman. LaCroix just a nose out in front there. But a good showing for our top 4 in the point standings. Jordan Stencil, Sean Merriman, Seth LaCroix, Jackson Sibley running top 4. And they will finish top 4. As Jackson Sibley going to celebrate his first NORA ARCA Series win. If I'm not mistaken, his teammate Travis Neiman still out on track celebrating with them. But he will let him have the front stretch there. All right, and we are going to go ahead and move on to our post-race interviews. We will start with our third place finisher, Seth LaCroix. Seth, it's Austin up in the booth. You got me?
I'm here.
All right, man. Congratulations on a third place finish here tonight. That is going to punch your ticket to the Final Four here next week. How does it feel?
Feels good.
All right, and I know you're excited. And you're in position to take home both the ARCA and the Cup Series championships. What would that mean to you if you could pull off that feat?
I mean, that's the plan. Yeah, I want them both.
All right, and going back to this race, I've got to ask you, about that battle for the lead here coming to the end. Not gonna lie, I counted you out. Did not think you were gonna be able to catch Jordan Stencil, and then it looked like the 45 of Robert Lawson, a lap car, battling to stay on the lead lap just in case we were to get a green-white checkered finish, held up Stencil, keeping him pinned there to the high side, and you were able to close that gap on him. But it looked like Jackson Sibley, though, gets alongside you and just, stops all that momentum you guys were carrying. Jackson Sibley able to come home with a win. What was going through your mind when all that was going on?
I knew it was gonna be tough to track him down. I think my mistake was I took 2 tires. And I drove 2 tires would have been fine, I believe, but at the beginning of the run, I was probably a little too gentle, and I think by the time I was really running them down, I was drafting off of Linger, and Lawson was helping him draft, so I was, it was kind of tough going. I passed Linger, and I was about a second and a half back, and then the tires kind of stabilized, and it was really hard sledding. And then Jackson, I looked at my relative, and all of a sudden Jackson was behind me. I'm like, oh crap! But so it was a good win on Jackson. I don't know if he took 2 or 4 at the end, but I definitely was feeling it at the end. I wish I had taken 4. So
All right.
it was a good race, and I look forward to next week.
Yep, we'll be asking him here in just a minute what his tire strategy was. We're going to let you get on out of here. Before we do, though, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, man, thank you for the good broadcast, and my parents for watching, and Apex, what's left of it. We're still out here. Can't make us quit. So we're here, and on to next week.
All right, man. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week, next Sunday night at Bristol, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. All right, once again, that was Seth LaCroix coming home third. We're going to move on to our our second place finisher, Jordan Stencil. Jordan, it's Austin up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, buddy.
All right, man. I want to say congratulations on that second place finish, but I know there's got to be some frustrations in that pit right now. Take us through those last 20 laps or so.
So the last pit stop, I didn't take tires. I double took during the middle of the race, so I knew it was pretty much the last half of that third run there. I kind of had to conserve. So as soon as I got by Jackson there on the second run, I kind of just coasted and let him save my stuff, and then try to get a decent amount of lead without burning my stuff up. And then the last 20 laps there, I could just see them getting closer and closer and closer. So stopped around the bottom, went to the high side, hoping that can kind of hold them off a little bit longer, because I know how hard it is passing the bottom at Chicago. But I knew as soon as I pitted there at 24 to go or whatever it was, I knew it was going to be pretty slim chances of me holding it on. So I'm happy with the P2. It means I just did a good job saving my stuff that second to last run.
All right. Well, I tell you what, we were watching, especially Seth LaCroix, and comparing your guys' lap times about the middle of that last run. You guys were running almost identical lap times, and it seemed like once you got to that 45 of Craig Peterson, you got out in front of him. It was like you hit a wall there, and then he got back alongside you, and that's when LaCroix and Sibley were really able to close with you. What was your going through your mind when you were battling with Peterson?
I think part of it was that the draft probably helped me kind of stay close to lap time with those guys, because obviously they're all running nose to tail, and I was out there by myself for the most part. So getting behind Peterson probably helped me for a couple laps. Then once we started getting side by side, I knew I was kind of holding him up. He definitely was faster than me, so I tried to let him by a few times, but then we kind of just got stuck side by side. So he followed me for a bit, and then was trying to get back by me before those guys caught us. And it just didn't work out that way. I don't think it really hurt my pace any, just because running the wall, you don't get too much of that side draft effect compared to when you're running the bottom and someone's close to you. Um, so I don't blame him at all for how it turned out. I think it's just the way it was going to go.
All right. Well, it definitely made for an exciting finish. So we're going to let you get on out of here. Before we do, though, anyone you want to thank?
Shout out to Jackson for the win. I know it kind of didn't go the way he wanted last week, but shout out to my mom and dad. Shout out to my wife and my baby boy Chester upstairs, and looking forward to the finale next week.
All right. Well, and you have also punched your ticket to the Final Four. So are you already looking forward to next week?
I'm looking forward to it. There's some fast guys in here, so we'll see what kind of race I can put together. And if it stays green light tonight, maybe we can have some luck and kind of avoid some of the chaos. But we'll see how she goes.
All right. We appreciate it. And we will see you back here next week, buddy.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you. Have a good night. All right, once again, that was Jordan Stencil coming home second, but we're going to move on to tonight's winner, the number 7 of Jackson Sibley. Jackson, it's up, Austin, up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I gotcha.
All right, your first NORA ARCA Series win. How does it feel, buddy?
Man, it feels great. Feels awesome. I'm stoked for this win. Um, the way it all went down too was kind of crazy, and man, it's good to be winning races at the right time.
And yes, it is. And you have punched your ticket to the Final Four. So I know you were looking forward to next week at Michigan. But I got to ask, where did you come from? We were, comparing lap times after the last pit stop and kind of keeping an eye. It looked like you and your teammate used your tires up early in this race. Um, and then all of a sudden you're just there at the front. Take us through that whole last run.
Yeah, I mean, that last run, I knew that we had possibly the best strategy. It really started early in the race. It started on that first pit stop because I took 4 tires because I had no choice. My tires were absolutely cooked, and I was like, I cannot do another 30 laps on these tires, and decided to take 4 that first pit stop, which I don't think most people did outside of a few guys. And it worked out because it stayed green, and I was able to save some really good tire in that stretch in the middle of the race. And I led for a long time, and I was going into that last pit stop knowing that I was in a good position, still in second after being on that long stint, and I was just hoping that I could catch Stencil in the long run after taking some fresh tires. And after Seth and Sean came out in front of me, I wasn't sure it was going to happen, but was able to work my way up, and slowly I wasn't catching Seth, and then started catching him really quick, couple tenths a lap, and those last 10 laps went by quick. And next thing you know, I was up in the front.
Yep, and I've got to ask, have you and Seth LaCroix, I know you guys were sitting down there in the waiting room to get up in the booth. Did y'all talk about that finish? Because we had all eyes on Seth. Once Jordan Stencil got alongside that lap car, it was like Jordan had just absolutely hit a wall. LaCroix was closing fast, and, we saw Seth, and we're like, yeah, Seth's going to get there. Jackson just needs to stay behind Seth, and he can go along for the ride, and they can battle it out for the win. Was there anything said in the room about you getting alongside him early and then being able to squeak out the win?
He was a little shocked how quick I came up on him because he had a couple seconds on me for a while, and that gap closed quickly. But no, we were talking about some good racing. We were both pretty happy that thing went green the whole way, and yeah, we were just talking about the end of it and how it all went down in the different tire strategy, because I was really curious to see what everyone else had been doing, and I didn't know that he and Sean had taken 2 tires on that last stop. I thought they were on 4, so that kind of put a couple pieces of the puzzle together for me.
All right, well, it worked out, and glad to see some Warhorse guys get into victory lane. Can't lie. I'm still hoping for a another Hunter Geyer victory with the paint scheme he's running. But I'll take another bird rap scheme getting in here. Glad to have you guys on board, and can't wait to air your commercial whenever Ryan Mack gets done with that. But anyone
Yes,
you want
sir.
to anyone you want to thank before we let you get on out of here and start the celebration?
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to the field for today for running a green flag race from start to finish. That was absolutely beautiful. Shout out the boys at Warhorse. They're helping me along and encouraging me, and it was nice having them in my ear that entire race. That was awesome. Shout out Craig, Travis, Hunter, Ryan. Awesome work. Shout out my girlfriend watching at home, and thank you, Austin. Appreciate you
Oh,
doing a good job.
all right. Well, we appreciate it, buddy. We're gonna let you get on out of here to start the celebration. Have a good night, man.
Copy. You too, man.
Thank you. All right, and once again, that was Jackson Sibley bringing home his first win in the ARCA Series. And now, time for a live look at our official results. Once again, Jackson Sibley took home the win. Jordan Stencil in second. Seth LaCroix finishes third. Sean Merriman will come home fourth. Omar Rodriguez Jr. in fifth. Hunter Geyer finishes sixth. Preston Shepard will finish seventh. Michael Boyd in eighth. Alan Martin finishes ninth. Jonathan Wiley will come home 10th. Travis Neiman finishes 11th. Connor Price in 12th. Tristan Haynes finishes 13th. Tanner Witt in 14th. Chris Chimopoulos comes home 15th. Craig Peterson in 16th. Robert Lawson will finish 17th. Stephen Linger in 18th. 19th was Mike Hill. Ethan Straub comes home 20th. Cody Sanderson in 21st. Chris Jones will finish 22nd. Alex Finney in 23rd. Thomas Adams finishes 24th. And Ryan Mack finishes 25th after an early race exit here tonight. Once again, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Make sure you guys tune in next Sunday night for the NORA Cup Series live from Bristol Motor Speedway. The tempers are flaring there, and that short track is sure to not help, so stay tuned for the drama there. Once again, that kicks off 7:30 Sunday night, and then come back on Monday evening, 9 o'clock, for the exciting conclusion to the NORA ARCA Series. 100 laps from Michigan Motor Speedway. 4 have made it into the final 4. Jackson Sibley, Jordan Stencil, Seth LaCroix, Sean Merriman. And they finished top 4 tonight, so they're all going to be showing up with the best, with a lot of practice under their belt, looking to do the best they can do. And they know that competition is going to be tough next week. Make sure you tune in for that next Monday at 9 o'clock. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe on YouTube and Facebook, and we will see you back here next week.